For me, I rarely stay at it consistently. I might do some syncing one day, mark out the next. I just give it enough time so that I can get a good finished product at the end. Yeah, I mean, everybody can tune, like in terms of the tuners. They're all very good. I mean, different people are hearing different things and different people like certain things. So that's where the variants come. You know, you can have very bright notes, you can have dull notes, you can, you know, but so long as the note is the note and the fundamental is correct, then it's down to the flavour of note that you prefer. Well, my inspiration came from Hallam. He was always around and always inspiring me to try and do well. A guy called Theo Stevens, he was one of the original Taspo players. And again, he was a good friend of my dad and Hallam and the band before me. So they were the first band to come, after Taspo, they were the first band to come to England then. So I mean, next year is the 60th birthday of this band, so we're the oldest band in the country. And a lot of the developments, we've gone along with a lot of developments as it's happened. So, although I haven't been playing for 60 years, I am aware of a lot of the developments. And nowadays, you know, I'm rubbing shoulders with all the best tuners in the UK, some of the best tuners in the world. And one of the things we now do is share knowledge. And that's good to be part of that brotherhood because, you know, I can phone somebody in Trinidad and ask their opinion on something and get a valid answer. And they can phone here and get a valid answer. And we all work as a team worldwide. So that's, you know, that's really good. Particularly coming from where it was, where every man was doing everything for himself and keeping the secret safe. They're still not going to divulge everything to everybody, but what they will divulge is once you're in that brotherhood, and it's a fraternal thing, once you're in that, they will share their knowledge, and I think that helps the ones that are in that brotherhood. You rarely find empty barrels lying around the streets. When I was growing up, that's what actually got me into the pan, particularly here in England, like, you know, because we were able to access the barrels. Everybody had a barrel at the allotment or on a building site. You could always get the raw material. Now, with there being a scrap value on it, like, you know, you're not finding them around quite so much as you used to. And as we've progressed in terms of the craftsmanship of the instrument, you just don't use any barrel. You know, it's all changed now, you know. Well, I've been fortunate at the minute. Quite a lot of the drums that I use, they come from two sources. Some come from Belgium, some come from America. Yeah, I actually use, for cutting, I use what we call a nibbler. It's very much like a jigsaw, but a little bit more powerful, and you just go along and cut the drum. The best result now is to do it stage by stage. Do the syncing, stop. Do the marking out, stop. Do the fabrication, stop. And just do it all in stages. I dare say if I was to go from start to finish, depending on which range. I mean, if it's a bass, I could probably knock up a bass easily within a day. That's not a problem, or a few bass within a day. But the more crafting you have to do, particularly with the tenors and some of the higher range pans, where it's a lot more syncing, it's a lot more crafting, then that takes a little bit longer. So again, I can't answer you specifically on time. It's just set. It's just how it is. We use like a Peterson strobe tuner. I mean, there are various tuners on the market. Not everybody uses Peterson, but that's fairly common within the pan tuning realms. They use a strobe tuner. That strobe tuner measures a fundamental note, so the sound of C, for instance. It also, within that, gives us octave and harmonic. So once we've got all those things measured up, then it will light up in a certain way. When it's wrong, it'll go, like, if it's flat, for instance, the wheel will spin left to the left. If it's sharp, the wheel will spin to the right, and then we gauge it from there. So the first thing we would do is try and get the fundamental right, and then you put in your various octaves and harmonics, depending on the flavour you want. And each tuner has different things. So although we've got the machine, and the machine is very precise in actually the measurement, a lot of it is still down to the ear and feel of that particular tuner. Those hammers have to be properly machine tooled to make sure that as you're hitting the drum in its raw state, you're not leaving any marks and indentations, because at the later stage, they will give you a problem in terms of the tuning, because you might find yourself getting overtones and sounds that you don't really want, just because it hasn't been prepared properly. So what we would do is, actually, if we've got the right tools right from the start, then we can actually, it's like panel beating tools, that's what we actually use, of various degrees, various weight of hammer depending for the sinking, shaping hammers, all various types of hammers you use, and tuning hammers. The drums can go out of tune by means of abuse. That might be playing abuse, that might be the way they're stacked and stored, that might be definitely I'm finding nowadays quite a lot of technique as well, like people with bad technique, wrong sticks, all those things. Or it can have a genuine accident where it drops off of the stand, gust of wind, drops, falls, that sends it completely out of tune, and then, you know, it's a major refurb then. When it comes to the tuning, for the customer, it's easier if I actually go out on site and do what I have to do. But sometimes I encounter problems out on site where I can't take the relevant equipment that I would need to fix it out on site. So it's better for them to then bring it back. But sometimes they give me pre-warning, a pan's fallen over and it needs something, you know, and they would bring it back into the workshop, and then we work back here, you know. But wherever I can, it's easier for the customer for me to go out on site and do what needs doing. So that takes me all over the country, all over Europe, all over the world, basically. You know, when we're charging a customer something, we're just hoping that the chromer doesn't increase his actual chroming costings, because it just depends on them, really, you know. Well, at the minute in the steel pan world, you have tenors. They play the lead. Double tenors play also lead, harmony, counter melodies. Double seconds, again, lead, harmonies, maybe some rhythm sometimes. Then you would have maybe quadraphonics, which is 4 pans that utilize double seconds, guitars, and the top end of the cello. So let's say the quadraphonics would be playing, have the capacity to play the whole middle section. So after the quadraphonics, then you would have guitars. So you're talking, that's more like in the rhythm section. And then you have cellos. Then you have tenor bass. Then you have 6 bass, 9 bass, and sometimes 12 bass in the Trinidad band. Yeah, my day could be in any aspect of pan. I could be tuning, I could be actually making, fabricating, I could be out doing a workshop teaching, or I could be on a gig playing. So it could be either, or it could be all of those in one day. Although I've been doing this 40-odd years, the tuning and the teaching, playing and the whole thing, there's just so much to learn. It's just endless. And every time you meet somebody new, maybe a new player, a new tuner, a new band leader, there's so much to learn. You know, and for me, I'm just still learning. You know. As I say, whether it be playing techniques, you never stop learning that. Tuning techniques, you never stop learning that. Working with various materials, you never stop learning that. So, and just working with people, you never stop learning that. So for me, you just never stop learning. So although the question you asked was fundamentally about steel pan, it's like a life, universal study thing that we do. And it's not just, we apply the pan, but it's not just about the pan. It's a whole spiritual thing. It's a lot bigger than just pan, you know. in a sea of pads.